Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
I can see.
Yeah. So yesterday we discussed a very important session, that is slowly changing dimension type 1. Slowly changing dimension type 1. Till now we have seen whenever we used to execute the session, we used to delete the existing data, or we used to truncate the table, and we used to freshly load. But in yesterday's session, we have seen instead of truncating the target table, whatever record you get from source, if that record exists in the target table, what we are doing, we are just updating the existing record. And whatever record we get from source, if that particular record doesn't exist in the target table, we were just inserting it. So the load strategy of SCD type 1 is insert as update, right? And we discussed a transformation that is called as update strategy transformation, which is very important. It is defined at two levels: session level, mapping level. At session level, all records are treated as insert, update, delete. Okay. Whereas at the mapping level, you can flag the records, few records to insert, few records to update, few records to delete, etc. And whenever you work with an update strategy at the session, it will be data driven. Okay. And the checkpoint, what you need to remember when you work with an update strategy transformation is there should be a primary key on the target table. And I told you one more very important interview question. If I don't have a primary key on the target table, can't I update it? Yes, you can. We have a concept called as update override. So using update override, you can update the table based on non-primary key values. And what else we discussed? What are the different types of overrides in Informatica? SQL override, lookup override, update override. Okay. And we discussed a very important concept that is called as dynamic cache. Whenever you work with dynamic cache, what dynamic cache do? It looks up on a table and dynamically tells you whatever record you get from source, is that a new record, or else existing record with the updated field information, or existing record with no change information. And what else I told? Whenever you enable dynamic cache, you get two default ports. What are they? New lookup row, associated input port. What is the significance? Associated port is a port which compares the lookup port with the source port, and new lookup row returns the numeric values such as 0, 1, 2. Okay. And also you can generate sequence IDs using dynamic cache. But the checkpoint what you need to remember is whatever column you want to generate sequence IDs, that particular column data type should be integer. Yeah, this is what we discussed in the yesterday's session. Today, very important session. So, guys, tomorrow no session. Next session will be on Monday. Tomorrow I have some embassy work, so no session tomorrow. Next session on Monday. Okay. So, a very important session today, SCD Type 2. In the very beginning session, what we discussed about data warehouse, a data warehouse is a historical database which is designed for decision making, right? But till now, we have not loaded any history, right? In the till yesterday we loaded truncate load the current data, and yesterday we have seen how to keep the updated information instead of doing truncate load. If it's a new record, insert. If it's an existing record, update. But today we'll see how to load historical data. This is very important. So SCD type 2 can, okay, first of all, let me tell you how I want to load data into my, how I want to load data. First of all, let me tell you. Okay. So this is a source table structure, and let me create the target table structure. Okay. As you know, for every insert, I'm going to generate a sequence ID. Okay. Then what I'll do, see, I'll add three extra columns here. One will be status. What I'll do, for every new record, I'll put status as active. Okay. And a record which got updated, the record no more exists in that location. You understand? When first time a record enters into the target system, I'll put status as active. After some time, that candidate got updated. He changed his location information. He moves to some other location. Then what I'm going to do, his previous information, I'll put status as inactive, and I'll insert a new record with the status as active, which tells his current location. So status tells you whether it's a new record or else it's a history. Okay. And I'll add two columns. One is DW created and another one is DW end date. Okay. So guys,
Vamsi,
Yeah, please.
we can use we can use flag also, right?
Status is nothing but flag only, flagging the values.
Oh,
Active, inactive, that
okay.
is nothing but flag, right? Yes, no, absent,
Right,
present.
right,
It's up to you.
right,
Whatever you want,
right,
you can do it. So instead of telling
right.
flag, I just told status where you can flag the values. LCD type 2 implemented in three ways: flag values, versioning, date. I'm explaining you with flag and date. Okay. So when first time records get inserted, what happens? In this way, the data will be inserted, right? One, one, and status will be, this is a new record. This is a very new record which is getting inserted into target table. You can put S, no, whatever you want, you can put it. Active, okay, and create a date. What I'll do, I'll pass sys date. Okay, you know what is sys date, right? System date. And end date, I don't pass any end date. I put null value. That means what it tells you, customer resides here. When end date is populated, that means this customer no more exists here. You understand, right? So for that reason, for every new record, I'll put status as, sorry, I'll put end date as null. Okay. In the same way, second record, this is very simple and very important. Okay. So this is what happens when you run the job for very first time. Okay. Now what happened? This particular information got changed. This particular information got changed. Okay. And one new record got inserted. Please try to understand carefully. One new record got inserted. If you see here, this is a new record and this is an existing record with updated field information, and this one existing record with no change information. Whenever you implement SCD type 2, whenever you implement SCD type 2, you need to know what are the logical key columns. Whenever you get a requirement to implement SCD type 2, you need to know what are the logical key columns which I need to compare source with whatever table you look up. If those key columns got changed, then only those records should go for update. This is what I told you yesterday also, right? If you want to pass only the updated information, if you don't want to update the records which exist but without any changes, why you want to update? Okay, whenever you get a requirement to work with SCD type 2, you need to know what are the logical key columns which I need to compare source with the respective table you look up. If those columns got changed, then only you have to go for update. Okay. So guys, what SCD type 2 will do is, this is a brand new record, right? So it will insert as same like SCD type 1. It will insert as this. So what happens? It will generate a new sequence ID and it will insert the values. Right now, you'll understand what is the difference between SCD type 1 and type 2. Okay, now what is going to happen in the next record? So guys, if you see here, this record, as you know, I'm looking up on the target table based on customer name. So this customer exists in the table where you look up, but with the key column change. The functionality of SCD type 2 is whatever record you get from source, if that record is a brand new, it has to go for insert with a new sequence ID generated. Whatever record you get from source, if that particular record already exists in the target table or whatever table you look up, with the updated field informations, I repeat, with the updated field information, then that particular record should be inserted as a brand new record. At the same point of time, it has to go for update. So what you understand? When existing record with updated field information you get from source, it has to insert. But in yesterday's session, no insertion happened when it's an existing record with change information. Only update happens. But today, in SCD type 2, what happens is, if it's an existing record with change information, it should be inserted as a brand new record. At the same point of time, it has to go for update. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. So now guys, this record will be inserted as a brand new record. How, while inserting, what it will do? It will generate the new sequence ID, okay, and rest of the information. Okay, now the logic of SCD type 2 comes into the picture. It should insert as a brand new record. At the same point of time, it has to go for update. So guys, if I update any of the fields, will you tell it's historical load? What do you mean by historical load? You need to see the complete transaction history of the customer. Then why you update these fields? If you update any of the field, then it is not an historical load. Then what fields I need to update? I need to update the fields which tells me the status of the latest transaction of the customer. So what I'll do? I'll update active as inactive, and I'll update sysdate. I don't do anything. Earlier it was null, right? What I'll do? I'll update with today's date. I mean the day when he got changed. You understand? Now my next question. Let us assume. Now the next question is, let us assume if that particular customer. Okay, what about these two records, guys? How about these two records? These two records, existing record with no change. Then what I'll do? I'll just why to update? Why you want to update? What you want to update? These two records already exist in the table without any changes. Then what you want to update? Just leave it, no change. It will go to the default group. Okay, guys. Now a very important thing. Now this particular customer called Anil, again he has changed to India. Now tell me, from source, I'm getting a customer named Anil. On a lookup table with a customer named Anil, how many records I have? Two records, right? This is one record and this is another record. Now tell me, on a lookup condition, how many matches you get based on a customer name in the lookup? Two records. What's there to confuse? It's very simple, right? With a customer name Anil, how many records you get in lookup table? Two records. Now my question is, which record you compare with the source? Which record? You compare this one or this one? You are telling fifth, but how Informatica knows I need to compare with fifth? Based on? But how? What you do?
Based on status,
That's true, but how you will make Informatica to compare with the active records only? What logic you write? Yeah, that's what logic you write. You can't tell technically, right? Based on status compares with the latest record. Will you write in English and will you execute it? You need to write a query. So what you do? You open the lookup transformation and what you do? In the lookup you write a SQL query. What query you are going to write? Select star from lookup table where end date is null. For all the latest records, what is the end date? This is the professional way. As a technical way, as a training level, select star from lookup table where status equal to active. If it is active or end date is null, what do you mean by that? That is the latest transaction of the customer. So guys, whenever you get a requirement to work with SCD type 2, you need to ensure you need to write a lookup SQL override, because you need to write a query where you look up on the latest status of the customer. Now what this record happens? These three records, nothing will have perform because existing record with no change. And what this record will do, it will insert as a brand new record. It will insert as a brand new record. At the same point of time, it will go for update. But while updating, it will not update any of the field information. It just updates. What it will do? It just updates status to inactive, and when which day that particular record got updated, that particular date I'm going to be populated. So this is called historical loading. If someone asks you, I would like to know what is the latest status of Anil, then what you do? Select star from table where customer name equal to null and end date is null. Then what happens? It will give you the latest status of the customer. This is SCD type 2, guys. The functionality of SCD type 2 is whatever record you get from source, if that record exists in the target table, it has to go for exist in the target table with the updated key column information. Then that particular record should be inserted as a brand new record. At the same point of time, that particular record has to go for update. While inserting, it insert as a new record. But while updating, it update only the status of the customer, which will tell you the latest transaction. Okay, this is very important. Okay, now let me. Okay, so SCD type 2 can be implemented in three ways, guys: flag, versioning, date. Flag means just now you told. For all the current transaction, you need to put S. For all the history, you need to put no. If you date, just now I have shown you start date, end date. And one more concept is there, that is versioning. First time when the record enters into the target system, version will be 0. When he got changed, version will be 1. When he got again changed, version will be 2. The maximum you need to, if you want to find out the latest transaction of the customer, then you need to go for maths version number. You can implement in three ways, any of the ways, but better prepare in flag and date. And you get lot of recording sessions in YouTube. My suggestion is try to walk through my recorded session because I am explaining in a very simple way. If you explain this, interviewer will definitely will get convinced. In YouTube's, if you see, they will create three tables and it will be bit complicated. Don't make things complicated. Try to explain very simple. So the way I am explaining will be very simple. So try to follow my way of explanation. Okay, guys. So already target table we have. Now what I'm going to do, let me add three columns. Let me add three columns. One will be the status, another one will be the created date, end date. Excuse me. Okay. This will be the date data types. And what should I do? If I change the table structure, I need to drop the existing table and I need to recreate it. Same STD type 1, the logic will be different in lookup and router. That's it. The same STD type 1. Yesterday, that's the reason I told you. If you are clear with STD type 1, then STD type 2 will be cakewalk for you. Click on mappings, click on create, M underscore type 2. There are type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1, type 2 are important. Type 3, no one will implement in real time. What type 3 do is, type 3 maintains the partial history. It maintains the current and most recent. It maintains three transactions: current, recent, and most recent. Three transactions. But SCD Type 3 is a flop model. If anyone asks you in interview, you need to tell, I implemented Type 1 and Type 2. Type 1 maintains updated information. Type 2 maintains historical data. Type 3 maintains partial information. But Type 3 we never got an opportunity to work with. And trust me, it's a flop model. No one will implement Type 3 in real time. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, first, whatever record you get from source, first of all, you need to check. First of all, you need to check whether that record exists in the table. If exists, does it contain any updated field information or no changes? And if it's a new record or not. So how you do that? Using lookup. And whenever you implement SCD type 2, what is the checkpoint? See, SCD type 2, nothing but loading historical data. So on whatever table you look up, on that particular table, historical data is maintained. If for a particular transaction, if you have history, then what record you need to look up? You need to look up on the latest transaction. Then how do I get it? I need to write an override query. Don't buy hard. These things you need to remember in your mind. That's it. If you buy hard, then this you will understand. The remaining scenarios you won't understand. Just try to understand what's happening. Look up underscore whatever table you are planning to look up. I need to look up on target, right? Remove the unwanted columns from lookup. Why you think you need to remove the unwanted columns? Because In the back end, what lookup has what concept? Cache concept. What cache concept do? It stores all the lookup table data. Then why you want to store the unwanted data which you are not interested? That's the reason I'm removing the unwanted columns from the lookup table. You got it right? And where is customer ID? I could not see customer ID. Okay, what I'll do, I'll add it. Why to delete it again and I'll create it. Let me add it. And what is the column name? DW underscore customer ID. And what is the data type? And this is an lookup port. Okay. I need to give lookup condition, right? Let me just rename it. Okay. So guys, what is the checkpoint you need to remember whenever you work with SCD type 2? You need to write a lookup override query where what you can go for end date is null or else to be very simple, status equal to active. Okay. I believe you understand why I'm writing an override query. I explained it very clearly. The logic lies here, guys. If you understand this logic, then you're clear with SCD type 2. Voucher, RTR underscore. Yesterday session, what we have seen, if it's a new record, we just inserted it. And if it's an existing record, we just updated it. So did we implemented the same logic? Let me show you. So first of all, I'll tell you what logic we have written yesterday. We just created two groups. One we made it as insert and another one we made it as update. And what logic we have written? When you say it's a new record, if lookup condition is null, you say it's a new record. So how you do that is null of what? Lookup column, right? This is the new record. Yesterday we have done the same thing. And for update, what we have done? We just given notch is null of not is null of what? Lookup column. This is what we have given yesterday. Okay, now please try to understand. So guys, when should I insert a record? If it's a brand new record, I have to insert it. And when should I again insert a record? Yeah. Whatever record you get from source, if that record exists in the target table with the updated field information. See, it's not like that how much you know. It makes point how you explain the things what you know. Interview just it contains 20 minutes of time. In the 20 minutes, if you think you know everything, then interview will won't give you job. In the 20 minutes, whatever you know, you have to represent it in better way. Okay, representation plays a very key role. You think I know everything, but I'm not able to explain, then no one will give you job because in 20 minutes, what he will analyze looking at you. You have to give him confidence that give me an opportunity, definitely I'll prove myself. So the 20 minutes you need to be very aggressive and you have to show very positive attitude. If you say one word answers, I told you what type of record are inserted, updated information. What that does that make any sense? That doesn't make any sense. Whatever record you get from source, if that record exists in the target table with updated field information, then that particular record should be inserted as well as updated. So you put resume with 4 years, 8 years experience. You need to speak in a very professional way. Okay, so inserts happen for a new record, it will insert at the same point of time. An existing record with change information will also be inserted. So can I use or class or new record should insert it at the same point of time? Existing updated record with change information or existing record with updated field information should also insert it. So guys, existing record, what logic you write for an existing record? Excellent. Not is null of what? Lookup column. Never say DW customer ID. Say not is null of lookup column. Existing record with means and right. Existing record with change information. What change information? Logical key column change information. Lookup location not equal to source location. Let me know what you don't understand looking at this logic. And when a record should go for update in SCD type 2, guys? If it's an existing record with updated field information. Now, let me know what you don't understand. You understand or not? Your silence, what should I understand? You got it right? Any questions?
Yeah, God.
How about you, Harshad? Harshad, you understand?
Yes, Vamshi. Yes.
I repeat once again, the functionality of SCD type 2 is whatever record you get from source, if that record doesn't exist in the table, whichever you look up, that particular record should be inserted, right? And whatever record you get from source, if that record already exists in the target table with the updated field information, then that particular record should be inserted as a brand new record. At the same point of time, it has to go for update. Try to remember this functionality in your mind. Then think what logic I need to write for a new record and what logic I need to write for an existing record with change information. That's it. You'll understand. Don't buttify not is null of lookup column and lookup key column not equal to source key column. Then it has to go for update insert. This is not the proper way. Understand technically, then try to think how should I implement logically. Then you'll get it. Understand functionality. Okay, that's it, guys. It's very simple from here. What I'll do, only one target table, but as you know, I'll take two instances, right? How should I take that? Just click on Control C and click on Control V. For naming standards, for our understanding, what I'll do, I'll rename it as underscore insert, and I'll rename this as update. Okay. Now, what should I do? First of all, let me complete insert pipeline. Okay. Transformation, create, expression, insert pipeline. Click on create, click on done. Okay. As you know, when you are inserting a new record, do you have any value for customer ID, guys? No, right? Who generates customer ID? It is generated by sequence generator.
Yeah.
What are the default ports in sequence generator? Current value and next value. What is the logic behind next value? Current value plus increment by. Okay. Do I need to pass these columns? No, because if I pass those columns, what happens? I get null values. So watch 1 second, guys. So first of all, let me complete insert pipeline. Then I'll explain you how updates happen. Okay. Drag these columns. See, you need to understand why I'm dragging these columns, why I'm not dragging these columns out. Because these are the lookup columns. While inserting, if I drag these columns that doesn't contain any data in it, then what is the use of dragging those columns? Okay, so guys, whenever I insert the data, what will be status? Active. And what will be created date? And what will be end date? That means I won't give any link to that column, right? Then what you need to do, add two columns. One will be status and other one will be created date. Okay, and you know these two ports are not input ports. These two ports are output ports. Okay, so what logic you need to write here is active. I believe you understand what is this. And here what you need to write. So guys, this is called hard coded values. You understand what is hard coded values, right? That doesn't get from source. Whatever developer writes here, if I write here Vamshi, then Vamshi will insert into target table. That are called hard coded values. You need to understand this terminology, hard coded values. Okay, then what next? Take an update strategy, and what you need to do? What you need to do? You need to insert, right? One for insert, another one for insert, another one for update. Okay. Okay. Drag the columns. You know what you need to do in update strategy transformation. You just need to put dd underscore insert. Dd stands for data driven. Okay. Now my insert pipeline is done. Now my insert pipeline is done. Okay. Okay, please try to concentrate here. Now, I'm giving system date to created date only when an insert is happening. I'm not giving to end date. So guys, for every insert, what will be end date? It will be null value because I'm not giving any link to it. You know what is null, right? An undefined value. Okay. My insert pipeline is done. Now what I'll do, let me complete the update pipeline. So guys, try to concentrate. While updating, do I need to update any of the field? If I update any of the field, then it is not called as historical loading, right? If I update any of these fields, then it is not called as historical load. So which fields I need to update? I just need to update these two fields, which tells you the status of the transaction. Okay. Now, can you tell me what columns I need to drag from router? Any guesses? Any guesses? What all columns I need to drag from router? Any guesses? What's there to think? I just need to drag only one column. What is that column? Customer? Why customer name you will drag? I need to drag an ID. Why you think I need to drag an ID? Because that column contains a primary key. I told you right, whenever you implement update strategy, you need to have a primary key. Based on that column only updates happen. So guys, how update happen? It will write a query, update table, table name set, whatever columns you want to update, where on whatever column you define as a primary key, that will be taken where class. So I don't take any columns. I just take only one column, that is primary key column, that is lookup column, which contains a primary key. Then what I'm going to do, I'll add two ports here. One will be created, and another one will be end date. Okay, these two are output ports. Here, what I'm going to do, let me put it as inactive. Okay, and here what I'll do, I'll put sysdate. Please try to concentrate. It's very simple. Just you need to practice it. That's it. Then what I do, I take an update strategy. Okay, now what query I'll write? Update table, table name, set status equal to inactive, comma, dw end date equal to system date, where whatever primary key you get, that one. Okay, so this is the flow of SCD type 2. This is very, very, very important. Without this, please try to understand here. Now I pass only to the customer ID where it writes a primary key and status as inactive. And see here, created date I don't touch. I'll pass system date to end date. If you understand here, while inserting a record, I'm populating date into created date, but I'm just sending the null values to end date. But same record when it go for update, then I don't touch the created date. Why? Because that is a date which tells me when the customer had made the transaction, and it will tell me if I populate the sys date for end date, then it tells me at which timestamp that customer resided in this that particular location, or else that customer made business with our company for what duration of time. So if you understand properly, when a new record comes, created date will be system date, the day when customer made the business, and end date will be null value. That tells customer still is using our services. And when the customer got changed, he's using some other service, or else he just quit from your business. Then the created date will be the date when he got inserted, and ended earlier it was null value, that will be updated by the day when the customer got updated. This is a very, very, very important logic. So guys, this is the functionality of SCD type 2. This is the functionality of SCD type 2. Practice this tomorrow, no session. Next session on Monday. So you have a lot of time. Practice this. And if you have any questions, let me know on Monday. Okay, let me create the session. And never put bulk load, guys. And don't put truncate. Why? If you put truncate, then what is the reason me writing complete this logic? Every time data will delete it, right? Only inserts happen, no update will happen. So don't put truncate. This is a concept which comes when I work about when I tell about parameters. Say which workflow. First time when I run the job, then what happens? Everything will go for insert. I don't want to insert again new records. That's the reason I'll remove few records. Okay. So as I executed the job for first time, everything will go for insert. Oh, it got failed. It's good. Right click, open, get run properties. So what you understand? Invalid identifier. We have executed the drop table, right? Then what happened? It says that these columns are not there in the table which you are where you are loading. There's a very regular issue what you get, status invalid identifier. Okay, let us see how to fix this issue. First of all, let me see whether my table got altered or not in the backend. So how should I check? I need to connect to my schema. What is my target system? It is batch. It's there, right? Status created date ended. I think I have given wrong connection, guys. I think I have given wrong relational connection. Batch 52. Oh, it's correct. Then what happened? Yeah, it's correct. Mapping low. Links tapichana. I have given links wrong or what? No, that doesn't make any difference. Status correct. One second, let me check. Okay, it's very good if you get errors. Database invalid identifier. Select. Okay, in the select class. Okay, so in the lookup, what happened? Execute select from customer where status equal order by. Okay, so in the lookup, it says that status is not there. That means I have given wrong lookup relational connection. Malitechi. Oh, okay. Which table I'm looking up, guys? How did I look up on this table? I looked up on wrong table, right? I looked up on. This is not my table, right? Which table I need to look up? I need to look up on. This is not the table which I need to look up. Okay, so how should I fix this? Can I just rename this? DW underscore customer. I'm just checking the possibilities. Okay. Now, that's the reason we did not get the customer ID. Okay, now what I need to do then? Let me click on generate SQL and let me write a where class again. First of all, let me check whether this query works or not in database. Yeah, it's working. So what I do, I just save it. So this is the way you have to identify which went where it went wrong. Okay, so that's the reason every time I tell you, if you get issues, then only you can learn the things. If it got succeeded, then you can't explore the tool. So if you get issues, then only you can learn a lot. Did I execute it? Yes. What happened, guys? Everything went for insert. Now just look at the data. So when insert is happening, what is the status? And end date. Here generally you have a timestamp also which tells you DD, MM, YY, HH, MISS. Okay, now see what I'm going to do. Oh, I just copied and pasted, right? So I think, okay, let me insert few new records. So, okay, it's very pain to insert new records. Okay, so what is the record will insert? Something like, okay, some record like Manoj, something like 33, and location Hyderabad, mail. Okay. Hmm. Do I have a record with Nag? No. So guys, two records I'm inserting. Two records I'm inserting. If you tell me the answer, then you understand what is SCD type 2. Two records I'm inserting and one record I'm, excuse me, updating. Now tell me how many records are read from source? Some 25, I believe. Right? Earlier it was 23, right? 25 records are read from source. Now my question is, if you can answer this, then you understand SCD type 2. What are the target success rows? If you can answer this, then you are clear with SCD type 2. Think and let me know. Take your time.
3.
3. Any more answers? 4. Who told 4? So can you tell me what all records will come out? Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. Great. Good. So total count is 4. These two records will be inserted as a brand new records, and this record will be inserted at the same point of time it will go for updated. If you understand this, then you are clear with SCD type 2. These remaining all records are no change. Okay, that is what I expected. Anyways, good. That is the answer. Target total count is 4. Now see. Okay, inactive. No, Anil is not in Bangalore. Then where is Anil? Is in US. Now again, now what will be target success rose? So what will be target success rose? What makes you think, man? Two, right? One insert, one update. One insert, one update. Right? Now where is Anil? Anil is not in Bangalore. Anil is not in US. Anil is in Netherlands. In this way, you can maintain historical load of customer. If someone asks you, see, very good regular question. Generally, I explain this question in interview preparation, but I would like to discuss this question. If someone asks you, see, boss, I would like to know how much business happened on a particular day, how many inserts happen on a particular day, and how many updates happen on a particular day. It's very important question, right? I would like to know what business happened today, how many new customers got introduced to our business today, and how many customers got, quitted from our services. I would like to know how many customers left with our company or whatever it is. It's a very important question, right? If your client will ask you, I would like to get the count of the total new customers which got inserted today. So how will you tell him what all new customers inserted today? Any guesses? It's very, very, very simple. So what I told you, for every new customer, what will be status and what will be the created date?
Yes,
System
sysdate
date.
and
So what
FTF.
logic you write? Select count of staff from table. Select count of staff from table where DW created date equal to system date. Is this not correct? Select count of staff from table where DW created date equal to system date. What happens? System date is whatever day you fire a query. It will give you that day how many records got inserted. And how would I know how many updates happened on a particular day? Select count of staff from table where DW updated date equal to sys date. It's very simple. This is a query you write to pick the new customers, new transactions happened on a particular day, and existing transactions which got updated on a particular day. This is the flow of SCD type 2. On Monday, I'll be explaining you debugger. If you have any questions, I'll be clearing it on Monday. If you practice it, then only you'll get questions. On Monday, I'll be explaining debugger. Once debugger is done, very important